next step today, and this bootcamp trainings uh, will sharpen your abilities to recognize opportunities, real opportunities, by understanding the market need, analyzing industry dynamics, and uncovering hidden gaps in the market. Um, okay, so whether you are just starting out or you are refining your concept, this technique will empower you to create innovative and impactful solutions for your entrepreneurial projects. Um, okay, so throughout the sessions, I encourage all of you to. I have to wait for the noise to stop. Can you hear me? Okay, so throughout the sessions, I encourage you to share your thoughts, ask questions, and learn from each other, because this is a very great chance for you to challenge your ideas, to explore your ideas, and to grow together. Um, Winning the prize is very exciting, right? But I believe the more valuable rewards of this competition is the learning experience that makes you stronger, more confident, and better prepared for future challenges. Therefore, I would highly appreciate your active participation. Do you agree? Okay, so clap hands to show your enthusiasm. Thank you very much. Okay, so today we are going to explore uh, some of the very important questions that I believe every entrepreneur will need to ask when they considering a new business idea. We start by defining what an opportunity really is, because not every idea is, maybe you have a lot of ideas in your mind, but not every idea is an opportunity. So we will try to find out what a real opportunity is, and then we will um, we will look at how to recognize opportunities, real opportunities, focusing on tools and techniques that help us to identify them. And the next thing after that, we will dive into analyzing the industry. Is it attractive? And if this industry is very attractive, is there a real room for your new ventures to enter and compete effectively? And finally, we will take a closer look at the target market. Is it big enough, reachable, or open for what your business has to offer? So that's all the contents that we are going to talk today. Okay, so let's start with the first questions. What an opportunity is. So, uh, I just want to interact with you, and I want to ask some of you here, what do you think is an opportunity? I believe that all of you have your entrepreneurial projects, and you think that you believe that is an opportunity. But is it? So can you please?
So I think an opportunity is that what I think in my mind, but I can do it in real life. So it has a chance for me to do it in real life. It's an opportunity, and also it can bring some benefits to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other ideas? Thank you. I really like your idea. And how about you?
So, so your question is what is an opportunity? Um, I think with me, opportunity is something is come with me, and we know that it has some benefits we can get from them, and we have to take them uh, and develop our idea to make this opportunity to become true. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So from the two answers, I can see that you think that opportunity is something that we can bring us benefit, right? Right? Yes, I agree with you. And Actually, I also agree with her. We usually have a lot of ideas in our minds every day. Maybe hundreds of ideas come to our mind, but not all of them are opportunities. The idea is just a thought in our minds. I have a lot of ideas. I sometimes think that I want to produce wings so that I can fly to school instead of traveling by car or motorbike, many things like that. But yes, I agree. Some idea we cannot do it. It's like impossible. And to okay, in order to access if your idea is a real opportunities, you can based on the four qualities here. So an opportunity usually have four key qualities that make it worth pursuing. And here's the four. The first, it should be timely. What does it mean? It means that your idea should fit the current market conditions or emerging trends so that your business can gain traction quickly. And if doesn't fit, yeah, there is no demand for your product or service. So the very first quality is it should be timely. And the second thing is that it should be durable. What does it mean? It means that your idea it isn't just a short-term fact, but it should be an opportunity. Should be how can I say? It could promise profits for long times, and it will remain relevant over time. So you ask yourself these questions: is your business idea durable or not? And the next thing that it should be attractive, very much like her idea and her opinion and his opinions. It means that these entrepreneurial opportunities can have the potential to bring profit and value creation that catch the interest of investors, customers, and other stakeholders. So it must be attractive. And the last thing, and many of us would ignore this dimension, that it could be anchors into a product, a service, or a business model. Because there should be a tangible offering in manifesting in a product or a service that solve the real problems or satisfies a clear need in the market. Okay, so next time, so try to use the four qualities and access your ideas, your business ideas. Okay, everything I share with you today will will help you to pass the I hope will help you to pass the competition because here are also some standards that we use to access your business idea. Okay, any questions about this? Are you clear? Uh, okay, now if you are very clear about what an opportunity is, my next question is how can we recognize opportunities? So let's share with us how did you come up with your entrepreneurial projects to bring it here to compete with other teams? Can you bring the microphone to our participants, please? Các bạn có thể chia sẻ ha. You can share about how did you recognize uh, the opportunities, the entrepreneurial opportunities, and bring it to our competition. Yes, microphone for her, please.
As I recognize one of our opportunities in making our products, because as myself, I am a business entrepreneur at home also, and my house, yes, family business, and my house sells the porridge that is cháo.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
as you can see that we are we are just like normal people. We don't usually use other chemicals products into our rice because we want to make sure that the rice is sustainable and really safe for our humans. So that, but when it comes to the season, the rice weevils started to hatch, and they had the egg lays on the rice, and they will become the rice weevils in itself in the rice
in the rice tank. And then I see that if I just put or use the lots of harmful chemical products in our rice, it doesn't it isn't good for our health also, for me or for my customers. So that I started a new business, and we share with others my fellows, and I started to come up with this. This is the zero price protect, to make sure that we have applied the science into absorption, when the rice river can eliminate the rice river itself naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. Actually, there is techniques behind her situation. I will discuss about that techniques later. But it's very good example. Thank you very much. Other participants, could you like to share how did you come up with your entrepreneurial projects? Come on, we are learning from each other, right? We share and learn. So please share your ideas. How did you come up with your? Um, okay, let's listen to some high school students in our room here. So please transfer your microphones to the to high school students over there. I really want to listen to their voice. Hai bạn dưới nè, mặc đồng phục đấy, uniform.
Um, for our product, we came up uh, with an idea based on the the uh,
Yes, please.
based on based on the what we want to uh, we want a better environment,
Oh,
and in today's world, uh, the the
come on.
and in today's world, the greenhouse effect very strong on very strong on us.
Yeah, it's
So
very, very bad, right? Very
yes,
bad
it's
for
very
us.
bad,
Yes.
and we want to reduce the sunlight reflecting sunlight, the ultraviolet
Yeah, yeah,
radiation that's affecting our earth.
yeah.
So we came up with an idea to reduce that.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. Also, thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, all of you come up with your entrepreneurial projects or this ways or another ways. And I like to summarize it into this slide. So when it's come to identifying entrepreneurial opportunities, the three powerful techniques that can help guide the ways are observing trends, solving problems, and finding gaps in the market. The first thing, by observing trends, the entrepreneurs can spot the shift in customer behaviors um, or emerging need. And by solving problems, it means that we listen to what frustrate people, or what isn't working well in the existing product or service, and then we offer better solution. And the last one, finding gap in the market, means that you identify areas in the market where it's underserved. It means that the demand really exists in this area, but no one is fully satisfy these areas. Okay, so these are the three techniques that can help an entrepreneurs to move from an abstract ideas into real and high potential opportunities. So back to the examples from our participant. What is your name again, please? Yeah, back to the Hiền Anh case. So what techniques did she use to recognize her opportunities? Can you find out? So in the case of Hiền Anh, what do you think? Yeah, so the problems, she recognized the problem in the old ways of doing her family business, and then he come up with a better solution to solve that problem. Very good. So, and your name, please. Oh, yes. How about in the case of Tung? What do you think? What techniques did he use to recognize his opportunities? Maybe there is a combination of the techniques here, but there can be one technique which stand out than our other techniques, right? And I believe that he's observing trends, and he seeing that the gas house effect is an increasing concern of us. Our concerns, and then he focused on identify solutions for this trend, right? Okay, so if I just share with you very I think that we need to go to dig deeper into the techniques, right? Into the techniques so that you can use them to identify more opportunity to your entrepreneurial ideas. You have your entrepreneurial ideas in your mind, and now you can use the techniques here to make it into a real and high potential opportunities. So the next slides, we will try to dig deeper into the techniques, and we will start with the first one, observing trends. Okay, so oh my god. Okay, so observing trends is one of the most effective ways to recognize opportunity early. Why I say early, like the case of Tung, he observes the trends, and he find out that there is increasing concerns for gas house effects, right? Greenhouse effects, and that is just the early stage. So this is a very powerful, effective tools for you to recognize at the early stage. So what are trends? What are trends? So I like to define it clearly. Trends um, reflect reflect how the customer behaviors, need and values are changing over time. Okay, for example, young people in my generation, uh, young people like you, when I was at your age, I have a different behaviors, different values, and different needs with you, right? And now you have a different from mine. So that show the change in trend, the trends. Is it clear? And if the entrepreneurs pay attention to the patterns, it must be a trend is pattern, right? If entrepreneurs pay attention to the pattern, they can predict what product or service people will need next, and that's why they can come up with ideas for their entrepreneurial projects. And there are several type of trend that we can watch. For example, social trend like what I share with you, that is the changing lifestyle or changing demographics, like economic trends like the inflation. Okay, many here you can see here, like the environment, mental change, climate change, ethical change, recycling and disposal. So many trend here. And to make it systematic for you to remember, I introduce to you the pastel model. The pastel here is the abbreviation, is a combination of the first letters of the six trends here. P stand for political change, right? Political change, like the introduction of new law or the government initiatives. It can open or restrict certain market. So that is the political trends. The next thing is economic trends. It stands for economic trends. It can be inflation, interest rate, employment, and something like that. And the next S, the S stands for social trends. That can be the population, the aging. We can see that our population is aging now in Vietnam, right? The next can be real view, lifestyle, cultural barrier, something like that. Technologies like the advances in AI and renewable energy nowadays. Environmental, I told you, legal, the same. Okay. And by observing the trend, we can uh, we can find out the opportunity gap different between what's available and what's possible. Then we can come up with new business products and service ideas. Nowadays, I realize that there is a trend that is increasing reliance on digital tools, right? Can you live without your mobile phone? Okay, so now it's chance for you to use your mobile phone now. You ready? I know that you cannot live without your mobile phone, so now you're going to use your mobile phone to do these activities. Okay. Okay, so please answer my questions. What are the current trends in Vietnam that you can recognize by scanning the QR code and input your answers? Then we can look at your answer later. Okay, good. Okay, so let's look at your answers. Many of you here have the same answers, that is AI. Okay. Uh, Sustainability is in every field, good. Health, um, mental health care among young generation, good. Semiconductor, right? Increasing need for technologies, tools, free ballasting. Okay, if you can offer a solution to free ballasting, you become great leaders of our world today. Recycle materials that cannot decompose, like plastic, glass, and fuels, yes. Increase technology reliance, yes. Shifting educational sectors. How? How? Shift in education sector, but you have to clarify how, right? That everything is changing. Everything is changing, but we have to define what is change. Okay. Business bankrupt. Tung 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 sao. Okay, I know this because I have a kid and they usually say this. Huh? Skibidi, skibidi. Yeah, I know. So this train too. There are more and more legal deterrents to ensure safe road, but it also create problem, penalties, legal and financial risk. Fashion, fashion. But what in fashion? What trend in fashion? Right? We have to even in AI. What trend in AI? Riding bicycle, uh, disease at youngsters, using AI in working. Very good here. Using AI in working. Creating ideas or using an assistant in life. Yes, good. So if you can create assistant like doctor assistant, teacher assistant, many other assistant using AI. So that is a very good idea, right? ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a product, but what trend this is respond to? You have to identify the trend. Okay, so I would like to healing. Yes, I think that this is the trend. Um, I think that we have to define define clearly what trend is. Like I tell you, trends that reflect how behaviors, values, and needs are changing. For example, like I say in the past, usually we when we go to school we want to attend physical class, but nowadays the needs is changing. A lot of students don't want to attend physical classroom anymore. They want to learn remotely. So learning remotely is a trend. Understand? Okay, so now, so if you just write something like Chat GPT or AI, it's too general, and we cannot spot it as a trend. Be more specific. What is changing in that? Many great ideas, right? Japanese popularization. I don't understand this trend. Maybe I'm too old for this. What does it mean, huh? Do you know? Microchip, online businesses. Okay, that is trend. E-commerce, fake, fake domestic food and functional food. Okay, this is not a trend, but this is a situation, huh? Problems, and if you can find the problem to solve this, good, you can have a good business. So I can see that some of the ideas here are trend, and some of the idea here are problems. It can be witnessed that there is an upward trend in the use of products that are associated with technologies and bring benefit to the development of life. Okay, technologies, how high increase of use. Okay, of vapes and cigarette, e-cigarette. Okay, this is also trend and problem too. And if you can find a solution to this, is it good? I will send these answers to all of you at the end of our training sessions. Maybe you can find some excellent idea from your friends. Okay, so the key here is not just watch the trend or observe the trend, but think creatively about how to translate how the trend can translate into opportunities. And if you can align your business idea with the current trend, the emerging trend, I believe that you can increase the chance that your business will be timely, attractive, in demand. So try now you have your entrepreneurial ideas. Try to align it with the emerging trend nowadays, huh? For example, with her business, maybe the foods, the health concern. The health concern is an emerging trend, and if you can ensure that your products can protect their health, okay, good. Ủa, nó lại không có chiếu mà. Đúng rồi, đúng rồi. Okay, so let's back to our lessons. I think that we will learn for 10 more minutes, and then we'll have a break time before foreign trainer will join us today, this morning. Okay, so to understand more about these techniques, I will introduce to you the case. Does anyone know this business model? It's quite new, and it is launched by a very young entrepreneur. She Quỳnh, Miss Quỳnh, and she launched this when she was 24 years old, very young, at very young age. And I think that this is an interesting business model. So I would like to share with you today about this case. Um, can you see what is it here? You can search. You can use search the internet to find out more about this business. 21, 21 square meter goods. What is it? It's a remote garden partner. Remote garden partner. You can see here. You can see the garden here. And why it's called remote garden partner? Because at 21 square meters, I must tell you before we talk about this, I, uh, I'm not advertising it, okay? I just find it's a very interesting case and share with you to so that we can see more clearly about how to observe trend and come up with a business model. Uh, okay, so at 21 square meters, a good experienced farmer will grow vegetable for you. And what you do? and this bring the garden, the vegetable garden to urban family. Usually when we live in the cities, um, we don't have a land to grow our vegetable, but you want your own garden, vegetable gardens. So you can rent her to grow vegetable for you. And this is remote garden partner. You choose the plot size, uh, and its plot size here is 21 square meters. For example, you choose 3 plot, and you choose your rental duration. And then you choose the vegetable that you want to grow, and then the farmer will grow that for you, and you can observe your garden 24 by 7 by a 24 by 7 camera access. And then you wait for your vegetable to deliver to your home. Is it a good idea? I find it's really interesting. And I just want to ask you here that what trend uh, this her respond to when she came up with this interesting business model. Interesting, right? Maybe we have the ideas that we want to sell a vegetable to other people. We want to sell land for other people to grow vegetable. Many ideas like that. But because she is very good at spotting trend in the market, and she modify, refine her business concept, and make it really interesting. So, what trend can you see here? The online participant, if you have any ideas, you can type in the message, and it will appear on the screen for everyone to see. Bạn nào mang mic cho bạn khách?
I think in this case, this is about the health, the customer's health, because I find that we are living in the urban areas and we don't have the land, as you said, right?
Yeah.
So we have to rent others people in the remote site, such as like this in Đà in Vietnam, with a favorable weather and the season like here. And the local farmers here, they try to harvest them using the natural pesticide, not just the chemical or the harmful one. I think this is one of the best way for us to for the customer can eat the vegetable with the fresh one, not just using the others vegetables at the supermarket. Sometimes we see that at the supermarket they say like that they are really good. They can satisfy with a VGAP certification or something, but still they will have some others vegetable that they are underqualified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I agree with you here, huh? Because of the health awareness. Health awareness. What else? Good. How do you feel? How do you feel if you look at your remote garden? Yes, please.
For me, I think it's about a customization trend
Yeah,
because
good.
not a mass product in the
Yeah.
supermarket. They have their own products.
Yeah, they
Like
can choose your
custom to their
yeah, type of vegetable, right?
yes.
Yes. Good. So
Uh,
customization, have awareness. Yes, good.
so
Excellent. And more idea?
I think that's all for me.
Okay. Other student, can you recognize any change that's the case in this situation? Please, come on, contribute and learn from each other. The next trend I think is digital life. We are living, like I tell you, every day we bring our mobile phone, and if you can open your mobile phone and look at your remote garden, right? You feel happier. So many trends she can, and also transparency. One trend that one participant in our classroom here recognized is toxic everywhere, and we cannot trust anyone. Even very big companies, we cannot trust them anymore. But because you can access to your remote garden 24 over 7 access camera. So you can build trust with this the qualities of this vegetable. Okay, so many train like this. Okay, I we will go to another case, and very interesting here, huh? If you buy a plot here, you have your name on your garden. Chị Trâm có mã số. Very interesting when we watch here, and it also help to healing when you come and when you wash your gardens. Maybe it can create a good mood for you. Okay, another case. Very simple idea, but it can turn into something interesting. Another case I would like to share with you here is the OmniLabs with its telepresent robot. Okay, take some time to search the internet to get some information about this business. Okay, so OmniLabs was founded by Vietnamese American entrepreneurs. I introduced this case because they are all Vietnamese entrepreneurs and they are very successful. So Dr. Thức Vũ, you can see his picture here. Dr. Thức Vũ is um, he was included in 40 under 40 listed in Valley Silicon. Okay, then he started OmniLabs is a robotic company based in Silicon Valley, and he produced what is here. That is the telepresent robot. You can see it here. Here. Okay, and and here, and here. So what is this product? You can remote navigate this robot so that it can move around in a physical space and and allow the users to communicate and to be present at that place. Okay, so you can see here. Is it clear? You know it? Right now, okay. And it have a screen and a camera. So this innovation facilitate real-time communication and presence. Real-time communication and presence. This is very important. And that's why it's make it very particularly beneficial to uh, to make application in education, healthcare, and remote working environment. For example, today, if I cannot join you personally, I can send my robot here. I can send my robot here, and you can look at me via the screen, and I can also look at you. If I want to interact with the student which is at the end of our room, I can move the robot to come there and talk with him. Understand this product? Okay, so the same questions. What trend do you think that the Omni robot respond to? AI. AI advances, right? A lot of you have the answers previously. AI advances. What else? You can see here the mother. It was first inspired by the case that one of the founders has parents who is elderly, old, and live far away from him, and it's quite difficult for him to communicate with them. So you can see here, and nowadays the aging populations, many elderly stay at home feeling lonely, no one care about. That's very bad, right? And if they have a robot like this, um, and you say that why don't you use the mobile phone, but the mobile phone yellow, for example. But for some elderly, it's quite difficult for them to go to the mobile phone and respond to your. I also have this problem when I call my mom and dad, fail many times. So you can navigate the robot to look for them. And if they are in the kitchen, you can stand in the kitchen talking to them. If they are in the bedroom, you can also go to the bedroom and talk to them via the screen. So that is the first use of this telepresent robot. And the second use is that many patients they have to be in hospital for very long times, and they cannot attend school, for example. So they can also use this robot to learn with their teacher or many other applications. So you can see that this responds to many trends. AI, advances in AI, aging population, remote learning, and what else? Còn gì nữa không các bạn? Any what else? Còn một cái quan trọng nữa nha, one thing which is very important. Communication, but I want another words. That's good. No, nearly communication, but a better words. Connected. Because many of you complain that now everyone have your mobile phone and you become separate, no connected with other people. So this device also help connecting. It's okay. So many other trends, and when you can watch the trend, recognize them, and turn them into opportunities. Good, refine your ideas. Okay, so. In the afternoon, we will discuss more about other techniques and also some tools and techniques to analyze the market and the industry to help you to refine your business idea. Now we will have a break times of about 15 minutes. And after that, Dr. Rajiv um, will join us. Okay.
Hello. 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 Nó được nè.
Thế là chị nói rồi chụp được cái lon này để nghe không?
Không. Không nghe được gì luôn đúng không?
Thế là chị đâu nói tiếng đâu nghe được chị cái mic đâu đúng không?
Ừ.
Bây giờ alo anh không.
Hello,
Anh chị có nói được không?
má nói được rồi. Hello,
Không nghe.
hello. Có nghe.
Không nghe. Không nghe nữa.
Hello. opportunities. That's good. And now we move to the next technique. We are all faced with a series of great opportunities, brilliantly disguising and insoluble problems. And many successful business start with personal problems. So when you face challenges in your own life, you have a very unique insight into the pain points. Classic example of how a personal problem can turn into a successful business.
sao không có nói gì hết vậy trời.
And saving via cashback program. That so it can meet. So also she start with her. If you think more seriously about your problems and how to solve your problems, it is a better way to do great idea for your business. Okay, let's see. Do you have any problems? And it is anonymously on this platform by scanning the QR code here. Your problem can turn into
Mà sao không nghe gì hết nhỉ?
there's a saying I really like that is entrepreneurs are great problem solvers.
Ôi, trời, trả lời gì dài dòng vậy trời. Interrupted. Còn
Okay, if you cannot join by Cura, you can join menti.com and use the code on the screen. Log on to menti.com and use the code on the screen. You have problem with hack. You have problem with money. Yes, the big problem for everyone, right? Learn math, waste time playing game. Okay, so if you can create a game that people can learn while playing games, maybe it's a good idea to solve this problem, right? Mental health. You have problem with your mental health. You have problem with. Remember, this is anonymous. So just share your problem. Maybe you can find some solutions from your friend. So feel free to share your problems. Or getting BK scholarship. Micromanaging lab rules. I don't understand this very much. Procrastination. Procrastination is a big problem a lot of people face. So if you can find out a solutions to encourage people to overcome their procrastination, very good. Slow Wi-Fi. You have a problem with your girlfriend. Very difficult problem, and no one can help to solve your problem except for you. Fear of sex, amazing. Okay, a lot of people nowadays, a lot of people have this same fear, facing the same problem with you. So if you can have any device that help people to for product be real or fake, good, excellent. Stamp, some stamp, blockchain stamp, for example. I don't know. Three, 23 participants share your problem, please. Feel free to share. And if a lot of people have the same problems here, you can spot that, oh, this is the problem a lot of people are facing. And maybe this is an opportunity for you. You have the problem with your leader. I am quite happy that traveling times in Ho Chi Minh City, yes. Traffic congestion in this city is really famous. Managing all your projects at once. So time management, right? Time management. You have a problem with your life, so think carefully about that. What exactly your problem is, and think about how you can better live your life. Be positive, be positive, and stay curious. Impulsive money spent because of peer pressure. Hmm. Yes, I think that a lot of people face the same problem with you. Hard to collect data. Yes, data now is precious, and it's hard to collect the right data. So if you can have a business to offer, to provide good data, excellent. Personalized mental health consulting. You want a personalized health, mental health consulting. Um, I think this is a very good trend. A lot of people also have this kind of demand. I can speak English. Can you help me? Elsa speak. You can use Elsa Speak. Thank you for your compliment here. Thank you for your compliment here. Annotating data is so hard. Yes, if you can find a solution to make your data better, to analyze a new way to analyze data. Some AI tools to get more insight from raw data. For example, you can solve a lot of problems other people are also facing. SD, what does it mean? ED. I'm sorry, I cannot understand your ideas here. ED. Yeah, so I can see after reviewing your opinion here, I can see that many of you are facing lack of motivation, procrastination, or concentration. So if anyone here in our class and also in online classroom, if you can come up with the ideas to solve these problems, I believe that you will have a very successful ventures in the future. Many people here agree that lack of motivation, procrastination, lack of concentration, that is about psychology, right? Yeah, I generated pictures on Facebook. Some of my students used to think about a tool to how distinguish between AI generated photos and human generated photos. Money, if you have a problem with money, for example, Hello Clever. Hello Clever is an app that helps people to save money, to manage their money. Yes. So if you have a problem, a lot of application can help us to solve your problems. Okay, I can see that there are 122 participants, but only 28 participants share their ideas. Uh, not very active. Please be more active uh, in uh, in the next sections of our training. Okay. Thank you very much for your sharings, and I will send all your opinions here to you. Okay. So now I will leave my stage for Dr. Rajiv.
Good morning.
We can hear you well. Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you well. Thank you. Please let me know when you're ready to start.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, thanks for the thumbs up sign. Uh, Thanks for joining this session today, and it's my pleasure. I'm joining you from Adelaide in South Australia. Uh, it's a lovely day over here. It's a Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. for us, and I thought I'll talk to you a little bit about new ventures and targeting the market and how new markets can be explored by new ventures. My background, I'm sure most of you would have seen, I've sent a brief profile of myself, so you would have seen what my background is. I've had experience as an entrepreneur, did 4 or 5 startup ventures. I used to produce movies in Bollywood, in Indian movie industry, and I've been at University of Adelaide for almost 8 years now. So right now I'm an academic director over here. I look after a partnership with industry, and also I teach entrepreneurship, strategy, and international business. So that's in a nutshell, that's my background. So today what we're going to look into is a specific topic about how we can target markets, and when we are launching a new venture, how new markets can be targeted. So I will share my screen. Is that what I do, or you already have the slides? I can. Yeah, it's better if I share the screen, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you. I'm doing that.
No.
Trying to find where I can. Give me a minute, just I'm figuring out. Okay. Okay, hope you can see my screen. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up sign. Uh, what I'm going to talk about is identifying and analyzing target market. So this is, you can all see my screen, so that's good. So the next part of it is, let me see where I can move the screen. I'm trying to, give me 1 minute. I'm just trying to move my presentation. Yeah. Okay. So when when we have a business idea as an entrepreneur, the first step is to have a business idea. when we have a business idea, what are the things which we will consider? Because when we sit together with friends or family, we can get many ideas, multiple ideas, and not all ideas can become good businesses. So for us to make an idea go into a business stage, we need to look at different angles. First of all, we need to see whether the business idea makes financial viability. If I invest money in that business, will I make money or not? uh, you can see my slide, right? You can see my slide. uh, because someone said, they asked me to show my slide. So, oh, it's but not on slideshow. Okay, okay. So let me just make it on slideshow. Is this better? Yeah, I can't see your reactions. So, can you see my slide now? Oh, I need to share the slideshow window, please. Okay, give me a minute. Can you see this slide? Which is not in display mode. Okay, let me. Okay, now, yeah, now I can see the message. Yeah, okay, sure. So, is your idea truly worth pursuing? That's the first question we ask. When, thank you, Alice. Thank you, everyone. So, if when we have an idea and when we want to make it into a business, the first question, as an investor, the first question which I ask is an entrepreneur who's starting this business, do they have the characteristics for the business to succeed? So that's the first step. The second one is the nature of the venture. What type of business is it? Is it a business which has potential to succeed in the market, or already is it in a crowded market? The third one is opportunity. So, one of the critical elements of any entrepreneurial startup is the opportunity, to see if there is any opportunity for the business to succeed. By opportunity, I mean, is there a gap in the market? For example, let's say BlackBerry. BlackBerry was a mobile phone device which was launched by a company called Research in Motion, RIM, a Canadian company, which was launched in the early 2000s. And for people, it was revolution for customers because they can send emails on their phone. There was an opportunity, because until that point of time, to send an email, you had to sit in front of a computer, whether your laptop or a personal computer. But once BlackBerry came in, you can send emails through your phone. So that was phenomenal. That was very good. But it did not go to the next stage, because Apple and Samsung came with the concept of a smartphone, which means you can not only send emails, but you can have touch screen and you can have multiple features. So, because BlackBerry could not tap into that opportunity, they lost out in the market. They did not get into the trend and they did not take a risk. So Apple and definitely Apple and Samsung came and took over that market, which is a phenomenal situation, because a product which is pioneering normally tries to keep going ahead in the market, but BlackBerry did not do that, which was a very high risk strategy for them, and which was true, which happened in this case. So if you look at the next slide, which I'll show you, uh, is this really worth? I mean, there are several opportunities over there. When we have the opportunities, we are very clear that there are, as an entrepreneur, our job is to recognize that opportunity. So if we can recognize that opportunity, that's when you can say that you're an entrepreneur. If you just see the opportunities and not able to tap into them, then that means you're not an entrepreneur. So you can have ideas, you can have multiple ideas, but entrepreneur is the one who has the advantage of seeing these things differently. So that's where it becomes important for us to understand how you can analyze the market and target the market. As an entrepreneur, what is your strength in analyzing and targeting the market? If you look at the so let's look at this model. So if there is one model in entrepreneurship which is very comprehensive and which explains the entire process of entrepreneurship, this is the Timmons model. There are four components in it. First one is the founder or the entrepreneur. He or she gets an idea and says, okay, I have an idea. Now I want to tap into the opportunity. So let me start off by making this idea into a business model. Once I make it into a business model, I have to create an opportunity for it. For example, if I want to create a new type of a pen or a pencil, what I'm trying to do is say that there is an opportunity for a pen or a pencil. If there is no opportunity, there's no point of me saying I'm going to launch a new pen. There are hundreds and thousands of pens in the market. So from the opportunity stage, we recognize the opportunity. Then the next step is I have a team. None of the entrepreneurial ventures can succeed if there is no team. We need to have a team. We need to build a team around the venture and then allocate resources for it. Resources can be financial or can be human resources, can be people, can be physical resources like building a factory or building an office or buying a van or a truck to deliver my goods. Those are physical resources. So these are the four components. First, the founder or the entrepreneur who spots the opportunity, then starts building the team and then allocating the resources. So the entrepreneurial process goes around in this circle, trying to link in one after the other: opportunity, resources, and team. And they all go hand in hand with each other. They Because you cannot be called as an entrepreneur if you just have an idea but don't take it into the next stage of an opportunity. You cannot be called as an entrepreneur if you don't put in resources into that opportunity. And lastly, if you don't have a team to build on the project. So that is the entrepreneurial process. So keep this as a background, keep this in your mind when we look at the target market. That's the next part of it. But before that, I wanted you to understand the entrepreneurial process, or tell to get an idea about how the entrepreneurs. So if you look at these four components, one of is the founder, two is the opportunities, three is the resources, and four is the team, then that means you have an entrepreneurial model in place. So now the next step, many entrepreneurs, they say, I mean, I can't call them an entrepreneurs, many prospective entrepreneurs or many budding entrepreneurs, they over evaluate your opportunity. They do not take a decision. They keep talking about the opportunity and say, oh, is it good, is it right, is it better, will it make money, will it succeed? By the time the venture goes away, because you need to tap into the market at the right time, at the right opportunity. If that is not done, then that means the opportunity is lost. So, analysis paralysis means you're over analyzing the situation, over analyzing the opportunity, and saying you're not willing to take the risk. You have to move to the next step. A successful entrepreneur is someone who's taken the opportunity, tapped into it, and moved on to the next step. Not just saying that, okay, I will make the decision only if I have all facts in hand. No, a successful entrepreneur will make a decision even when not having all facts in hand. So that's the bottom line. So beware of it. Beware. Do not get stuck into this rut where you're over analyzing or over researching. That means you don't understand where the next opportunity is coming up. Rules of thumb. First thing, Tomorrow, if you say that I'm going to create something like a Microsoft Word document, why? Can you really compete with Microsoft? No, because Microsoft has lots of money, lots of experience, strong team, global presence, and a success ratio. So why do you want to go into a market and compete with Microsoft? Go and look into another market, which is okay. I'll give an example. Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they're two very strong brands. When you want to enter into a soft drink market, people will say, why do you want to go into a soft drink market? Because there is already Coca-Cola and already Pepsi. They're very strong in the market. Why do you want to enter that market? My answer will be, there is a gap in the market. I want to tap into that. But we need to be very clear, which is the next point over here, to find that niche, that gap. The success story in recent years of a product which succeeded despite Coca-Cola and Pepsi is a product called it's a product called as uh, which is an energy drink, Red Bull. Some of you might have seen or heard about a product called Red Bull. Red Bull is a energy drink, and it became very popular despite competing with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. The reason being, until then, those two companies did not identify an energy drink. That's a niche market. So even if the market is crowded, if you have a niche product which can tap into the demand in the market, seeing the success of Red Bull, Coca-Cola went and bought a product called Monster. Monster is now almost on par with Red Bull. It's a strong competitor and it's on par with Red Bull. And seeing the success of Red Bull, they came. So if you have, or if you say that, okay, I can't compete with Microsoft, let me take a product which can be in collaboration with Microsoft. So that means I'm partnering them. One of the rule when I'm mentoring or talking to someone who wants to start a new business or launch a new product, I tell them one thing clearly: do not go into overcrowded marketplaces. If there are too many players in the market, that means you're going to have a huge risk. Do not go into that market. Be nimble, and you need to be very small and efficient. Like Red Bull did. Red Bull was nimble and efficient. Even in a large operators market, they tackled the space and they were very successful in that. Or offer a unique product, something which no one else is offering. And probably the example of that is Uber or Airbnb. When they came in, until Uber came in, people were still using taxis. But Uber changed the model. They changed the model and said taxis, but you don't need to pay cash. You can do it on your account. Or you have the taxi. There's no Uber doesn't own taxis. Individuals own taxis and people buy it. So that's a unique product. So if we can tap into the uniqueness of a product, it's advantage. So what are the critical factors when you're doing analysis of an opportunity or when you're looking at a target market? One thing which you need to look at is it unique? Is it special? Is it something different? Is it high growth venture? A high growth venture is always good to invest in. Or is it a lifestyle venture? Doesn't matter. Even if it's a lifestyle venture, it doesn't matter, because a lifestyle venture will be for a very small target group and they will be willing to pay extra money. So, if they're willing to pay extra money, that means you have the potential for the market. So, you can have a very strong product with a big market potential, or you can have a niche market. Either of them is fine. What is the growth pattern? Will the product take off sequentially into a successful market or not? You have to understand that. So these are the critical factors. I mean, when I'm investing $1 million, I need to get back my $1 million plus add profit and additional revenue to it. If not, then there's no point of doing that. So that's a very critical factor to analyze, and we need to keep that in mind to understand how uh, the opportunity. So if you find that there is no growth potential, for example, if someone comes to me with an idea today to start a bookstore, I'll say, why? Why do you want to start a bookstore? Because hardly anyone is buying books to read. If at all they're buying, they try to buy it online. Going into a bookstore and buying is becoming a smaller market. You can't invest money into that too much. It's because it's becoming a niche market and there is not too much revenue in it. So I would say don't buy a bookstore. Don't set up a bookstore. Do an online bookstore if you want. So that's something to keep in mind. And what is the other factors? Product availability. So if you create a product which is not easily available, customers will not come to you. They should have a product which they can walk across into a store and say, I want this product, and that's advanced. But if they can't, if it's going to take a lot of time for them to access that product, then they lose interest in it. It should be easy. Okay. And lastly, the fifth point, when I'm analyzing an opportunity, is customer availability. Are there customers for the product? Your product might be the best thing in the world, but if there is no customer for that, then there's no point of talking about it. It should truly stand out head and shoulders above the competition. So if there is already an existing market and your product doesn't stand above that market, then you're not, it's going to be a waste of time. It's going to be a real disaster for you to launch the product. So what are the common pitfalls? First, you are not analyzing it objectively. That means you are too personal, you invested too much of your personal resources in the product, so you're very emotional and you think your product will work. That's not fair. You have to be very objective. You should say, I'm doing an objective evaluation in the market. I want to see if the product has potential or not. So that's objective. Second one, I don't know the market. If I don't know the market, I should not launch the product. Full stop. Because it's critical to understand that if I don't have knowledge of the market, or if I don't have insight into the market, it will not be useful for me to launch it. Thirdly, technical requirements. If my product is a very technical product, and if I don't understand the technical requirements, that means I can't be successful. I have to rely on someone else to help me out. And when those people will not be able to help me out, and that's when I'll be at a disadvantage. Next, financial understanding. If I don't understand what are the financial requirements or financial needs for the product, then I won't be successful. It's not it's risky for me to launch. Venture uniqueness. If my business is not unique or separate or special, don't launch it. Lastly, legal and regulatory issues. If I launch a product in a country where legally it's banned, it's not it's not allowed to be sold, then in some countries there are restrictions on usage of internet. So if my product relies on internet, that means I'm taking a huge risk. Example, or if I go into some countries where, let's say, some of the Islamic countries, they don't allow ham or pork or pig products to be sold. But if my product contains that, I can't sell it. Simple. Because I don't know the legal. So I need to be aware of the legal and regulatory issues, the tax structure, how much taxation will be done in that country. So these are the pitfalls. If I'm not aware of this, that means I'm not aware of the market. So that's going to cause a lot of problem. So how do I analyze? So to build a target market or to analyze the opportunity, what we do is something called as a pestle analysis, which is a great way of keeping in. Remember the word pestle. Pestle means it's got 6 components. Pestel. P stands for political. So when I'm launching my product in a market, I need to understand the political situation in that market. What is the political situation? Is it conducive for me to launch a product? Is the political situation good, strong, stable, or not? It, it doesn't matter what type of government it is. It can be a government which is run by the king, or it can be a democracy, or it can be a monarchy, it can be a socialist, doesn't matter. What I am trying to understand is it a political situation where I can freely trade and sell my product? First thing. Second thing, economic. So, what are the economic situations? What is the GDP? Can people afford to buy my product? Do they have enough money to buy my product? will they be taxed very high? If I am going to sell my product because my product is coming from Australia into Vietnam, does Vietnam put a tariff on my product? So if I am making it at $10 and the tariff is 200%, I can sell it only at $30 over there. At $30, is anyone going to buy it? So that's economic factors. That's a taxation. The third one is socio-cultural. Socio-cultural is, do customers buy these products? What is the social and cultural background of that country or the market in which I'm launching my product? So if I'm launching a product which is a fashion product, where in a country where they do not use this product, then that's a socio-cultural situation. Why? Because let's say there is a restriction on people using self beautification products like lipstick or cosmetics. There is a restriction. That's socially government doesn't say don't buy it, but culturally people say no, you're not supposed to put lipstick or put perfume on yourself. That's a cultural situation. So if I want to sell a perfume in that country, I can't, because socially and culturally people will not buy it. Next, technological. If my product is a technology, let's say I want to launch an app-based product which can be used only on a smartphone. Unfortunately, if I'm launching it in a country which does not have internet, which does not have people using smartphones, I can't launch my product because the technology is not supporting it, and that means it will fail. Next, environmental problem. What is the sustainability of the project? Is my product going to cause damage to the environment in that country? So will that, for example, if I launch a product which will suck up all the natural water from the ground, people won't be happy with it. So that's a risk over there. Lastly, legal. What are the legal restrictions? If I make money in that country, can I bring money from that country to my company? If there is a restriction, we need to understand that. If someone cheats me, takes my money and goes away, can I go to the court and get the money back? Is there a legal situation? So if the courts are not supporting me, that means I'm taking a very high risk going into that market. So this is PESTEL, the six aspects: political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. So these six parts constitute together called as PESTEL. When I am launching a product, when I'm looking at a target market, I need to look at PESTEL. These are the six components which you need to look at and understand whether the PESTEL is favorable for my product or not. That's important to keep in mind. Okay. So how do we analyze the industry uncertainty? Uh, Industries will have uncertainty. They might have technological, strategic uncertainty. Any business has uncertainty. Trust me, whether it's a very successful business, eventually at the beginning it will have uncertainty. What if people don't buy the product? What if people are not happy with the product? What if the product is too costly? What if the product is perceived as cheap and unreliable? This is all uncertainty. These are all uncertainty factors. So we need to keep in mind that there will be uncertainty, and we need to understand or analyze the uncertainty. So the uncertainty can be from a technological perspective. The technology is not strong. So if I want to start a online education business in a country where internet is not very reliable, my business will fail, because all my students will come to the classes only through online. But online, there is no internet is not working. So today I'm going to start teaching to 100 students, but those 100 students cannot access the internet. So that means technologically it will fail. Strategic uncertainty. As a strategy in the future, long term, short term, medium term, is it clear whether we're going to launch the product, whether there is any clarity in that? Next. First time buyer uncertainty. If for the first time someone is going to buy the product, and if the industry, if they're not certain about buying the product, then that means there's uncertainty. Lastly, Short time horizon, that is, people do not buy at long so for example, if I'm selling insurance product, insurance is always viewed as a long term risk. People take insurance because at some day, some point of time, they might want to claim the insurance. It might be life insurance, medical insurance, health insurance, home insurance, uh, safety, whatever insurance, car insurance, whatever. That doesn't mean that every day you get it back. If at all there is a problem, you can claim it. So if that horizon, people say that no, I want to get my money back in 1 year, then insurance is not a product to sell because there's uncertainty. So it's important to keep in mind that the time horizon is important. Next, we go into looking at the value chain. It's very important. Value chain is something very important when we're doing opportunity and target market analysis because every product has multiple links to the chain. It's called the value chain. They're linked to each other, and when they're linked to each other, that means every part of the chain is important. So each link in the chain, it'll it'll carry the risk. Uh, Suppliers, mean whether the suppliers are upstream or downstream, that is people who are buying the product or making the product for you, there is a value chain over there. Every link should have a profit margin. For example, uh, I grow apples. I want to sell apples in the market. I'm the farmer. So for me, if a supermarket comes and buys apples from me, I sell to them for $1. They sell it to the customer for $3. So that means it doesn't mean that they're making a profit of $2. Everyone in the chain, the truck which takes apples from my farm to the supermarket, that's part of the value chain. The apples are stored in a big storeroom or warehouse, that's part of the value chain. Then they're displayed in the supermarket, that's part of the value chain. And finally, the customer buys it. So there are four steps. All these four parts of the value chain need to make money. So that's why when I'm selling my apple for $1, they add 50 cents, 60 cents on each of the value chain. And by the time the end customer buys it, he or she pays $3 or $4. That is making a profit at every part of the value chain. So if you look at the example over here, it's an example of uh, the paper industry, paper mills. So the paper, the raw material for the paper industry is trees or wood or forest. So you get trees, you make them into pulp, and then you put it into sawmills, and then they make into pulp and for paper. Then you can get it back from them by adding into the value chain like refineries, and also whatever is left, you can sell it to the gardens. So that means that is value chain. So one tree, you cut a tree and then you can make it into pulp, which is made into paper. That's one step. So the value chain is in growing the forest, in cutting the forest, in making the timber products, in making it into a pulp and selling it. At the same time, you can bring back and say that the value addition to it is I want to whatever is left over after cutting the trees, I can sell it as a garden product, putting it in the garden, mulch or whatever. So that is the way you look at the value chain. So the paper industry is a great example where you link from one side to the other. So, what are the barriers of entry? When I want to get into a new market, when I want to target a market, there can be barriers to entry, which can be intellectual property, very, uh, very expensive to target. So, there is intellectual property. And do they have, so remember the Apple example which I've given? If a customer cannot go into a shop and buy my apple, that means they do not have access to distribution channel. Or I am selling the apple as a farmer. By the time it gets to the customer, it's getting old and spoiled. It's rotting. No customer will buy a bad apple. They all want to buy good apples. So, if the distribution channel is not very well laid out or it's not very well linked, then that means my apple will not get to the end customer. If it does not get to the end customer, that means I'm not going to make money out of it. So there's no distribution channel. Next, do they have access to the raw materials and skilled labor? For example, I sell 100 apples. There should be someone who is able to take the apples from my farm, pack them into a box, load them into a truck, put them in the fridge, take it out to the customers and sell. So that means they need to have skilled labor. They need to have people who transport my apples without damaging them. That's skilled labor. They need to have access to raw materials where they know how to process these apples. Do they lack experience? If the market doesn't lack experience, or if I am selling into the market, the guy who's buying from me, if he or she cannot pay me the money, I will not sell to them. So I say I want $1 per apple from you. The guy says I don't have the money. Sorry, I can't sell you. I can sell you apples only if you give me the money. So that is raising the capital. Very important. They need to have access to money. So how do you analyze the competition? Firstly, look at the number of competitors. Very few industries or very few products in this world have the luck of not having any competitors. Every 90% of the products in the market have competition, unless they are strictly controlled and managed by the government, and the government ensures that there is no competitor, it's all monopoly. Example can be the post office. uh, the postal services. Normally, postal services in many countries are controlled uh, by the government to a large extent, or even if they are not, and if they given to private players, they will not have competition. So, but otherwise, most of the other products you need to consider whether how many number of competitors are there. The more the number of competitors, the less chance you will have in that market. So keep it on mind. So if you don't have competitors, if you have less competitors, it's good for you. The strength of each competitor. For example, today if I want to sell a carbonated soft drink, there are only three players in the market: Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Cadbury Schweppes. Only three players. There are only three of them. So I can say, oh, only three players in the market. I'll go and launch my soft drink over there. But that's not the truth, because all three of them together are very, very strong. All three of them individually are very strong. As a new player in the market, you cannot go and fight or compete with Coca Cola or Pepsi. So they have very big strength. What drives the competition? The competition can be driven by any of the pestle factors. And if I go into the market, what the competition can do, they can kill me. For example, if I'm launching a new drink today, soft drink, the competitors like Coke and Pepsi can ensure that they do not give me any space in the supermarket, because the supermarkets are full of their product. They take up all the space, so I can't showcase my product. So when a customer comes into the store looking for my product, they can't find it because I don't have the space on the shelf. They are pushing me out. As a competitor, they can do that. They can kill me out. So we need to understand and analyze the market. Second, analyze the internal profile within a company. We need to understand what is the strength of a company, what is a weakness. You all might have heard about SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you do a SWOT analysis internally of a company. So you look at the service, the variety, what is the raw material which I'm using, what is the cost of labor, what is the reputation, all these factors. These are important factors to keep in mind, because you're analyzing the internal profile of a company. Because if you know the internal profile, you can say, I'm weak in certain areas, I'm strong in certain areas. And when you look at the competitors, write them down and say, what are the strengths of your competitors? What way they can be successful? How can I compete with them? That's very important to keep in mind. Okay. And you need to know what are the weaknesses of a competitor. So if they have a weakness and I have a strength which can go into that weakness, that means I have a winner. It can, so you can look at major financial markets, and also understand how the project, my product can succeed in that market. Okay. Next, look at the feasibility criteria. You have a criteria to say, first of all, whether my product is proprietary, does it have a trademark on it? And once I do that, uh, is it easy, cheaper to produce in my country and sell it in their country? Or can I produce in the other country and sell it over there? What is the marketing cost? Is it realistic? Is it very expensive? Can you sell it? And is there potential for the product to have high margins? So if you have high margins, will, because it's good. If you have high margins, that means that you'll make a profit. If you cannot have high margins, that means you don't sell the product. If the margins are very low, that means the risk is very high. For example, typically the electronics industry operates on a very small margin. 10% is a luxury because they operate on very small margins. The car industry operates on very small margins. Where do the car industry make the money? They make the money in the servicing. You buy a car from them, that's only turnover. Probably if you buy a car for $10,000, they might be making $1,000 profit on it. That's all. But they make lots of money when you take back your car to them to do the servicing. Whether it's a Honda or a Toyota or a Mazda or whatever car, if it goes back to that service station for servicing, that's when they make the money. Okay, so that's the margin. And what is the break even point? Break even point is when my fixed cost and variable cost I start recovering and start achieving a no profit, no loss situation. That's break even. After achieving a no profit, no loss situation, next step is going above the break even. Once you cross the break even, then that means you start making a profit. So that is understanding whether it's realistic or whether it's too ambitious. You can do a very comprehensive feasibility analysis. It can be technical and market. Trying to understand what the market is very, very important. Launching into a market without doing a feasibility analysis is foolish. Launching into a market without understanding what are the pros and cons, strengths, weaknesses, pitfalls, hurdles in that market is foolish. So you have to look at a feasibility and say, when I go into that market, I am trying to understand what I can do, what I cannot do in that market. So that's a comprehensive feasibility. So look at the example over there. Are there customers for seal fur coats? Fur coats made out of seals. Seals are those big fat sea lions which are in the oceans. So is there a market for that? Many parts of the world, if you go to a hot country, they'll say, no, we are a very hot country. The average temperature here is 25 degrees. We don't need seal fur coats. But if you go into Greenland, which is covered in snow almost the entire year, for them, seal fur coats, there's a huge market. Everyone in Greenland wants to buy a seal fur coat. As opposed to if you want to sell the seal fur coat in a country like Saudi Arabia, which is very hot, or in Middle East, Dubai, Qatar, Sharjah, those are very hot countries. In hot countries, there is no market for seal fur coats. In colder countries like Greenland, Iceland, where it's covered in snow for most of the time, there is a market for seal fur coats. So you need to understand. That's the investigation that's trying to understand the marketability. So if you're trying to sell a seal fur coat in a hot country, you won't have any success. But if you're trying to sell it in a cold country, you will have a success. So if there is a potential market, I, as a marketer or a seller, how I can tap into that market. So coming, bringing in all of it together, there are three components or three concepts. When you're doing a target market analysis, the first step is total addressable market. Let's say I want to sell this pen. This pen can be sold to anyone. That's fine. It can be bought. But is it realistic for me to try to sell it to anyone like it's the blue sky or monopoly? No, because I'm not the only pen seller in the market. There are 100 other pens in the market, so I should be better than the other pens. So The total addressable market is not really relevant for me because the next step is serviceable available market, which is a SAM. So, in the total market, I want to sell it only to students who are going into university or high schools. So that's a large market still. In that also, so I said I'm not going to sell this pen to everyone. I'll sell this pen only to students who are going into high schools or universities. That's market. That's a serviceable market. And in the serviceable obtainable market, I'm going to say this pen will be sold only to females at the age of 18 to 20 because it's attractive to females and it's price sensitive. That is my serviceable obtainable market. So you start off with a TAM. In a TAM, you find a SAM, which is a serviceable available market. And in that, you try to get an obtainable market, or it's called as, basically in marketing it's segmentation, trying to understand which segment. You have a whole pie, you can't target the entire pie because you do not have the resources, capability, or the ability to reach the entire market. So in that entire pie, you target a small pie. In that small pie, you say this block is what I'm going to consume, which I'm going to target. That is a serviceable obtainable market. So you have a total addressable market, which is the whole market, which is for us to do a market feasibility. It doesn't mean that we're targeting the total market. We look at the serviceable market. In the total market, what we call is targeting. So, in other words, in marketing, there is a very popular word called segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So, you identify a segment. In that segment, you target a particular type of customer, and for that customer, you position your product in their mind. STP, segmentation, targeting, positioning. That's how you analyze the market. By having the total market, the serviceable market, and then how we are going to obtain the service in that market. So that's the whole picture. That's what I want to talk about, the target analysis. And so that brings to the conclusion. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me, because I'm happy to answer the questions and explain to you what what I think will work out in a sense, in the sense of the I try to give you a basic understanding of what the target market is, to so that you how you can do the analysis and understand the important part of uh, the target market analysis. Okay, cool. Any questions, please? You have about 10 more minutes time. You can put it in the chat or you can ask me the question and I'm happy to answer. Anyone, if you don't want to ask, you can just put it in the chat or in the message, and I'm happy to answer that once I read it. Very quiet. So the concept which we tried to look in today is, first we looked at it from an entrepreneurial venture, trying to tap into the opportunity, and then how we go about the target market analysis, whether we see if the opportunity is feasible in a market. We also looked at the concept of pestle analysis, trying to understand the political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, environmental, and legal aspects of a market. And from there, we tried to understand how you can have the TAM, SAM, and SOM, that is targetable available market or specific target. Uh, uh, Sorry, with online participants, you can open your mic to ask question. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, anyone who's if you unmute, you can unmute yourself. If anyone wants to ask a question, please feel free to ask a question. So that's what we covered today. We have several online participants. I can see at least 46 of you are online. So please feel free to ask a question or message, whichever one works for you. Because we have about 5-6 more minutes, I won't be able to help you with your questions or doubts. Don't feel shy. There's no right or wrong question. It's only what you think you want to ask, and I'm happy to help you out. Okay.
Hello, sir. Do you mind? I want to ask a question.
Sure, sure. Daniel, go
My
on.
name is Daniel. I'm from Chennai in India.
Okay. Hi,
So I'm
Daniel.
working on an insurance product.
Okay.
So my question is, how do I properly identify my market? Because there
Okay.
are leaders in the market right now, and how do I position my product properly?
Okay. So that's a very good question, Daniel, because insurance is already a very crowded market. There are already so many players in the market. So you need to clearly identify why you think there is a need for your insurance product. So if you are very clear that there is a gap for your insurance product, then you can market it to that gap. But if there are no, uh, if the market is so crowded and there are no available gaps in the market, then it's going to be very tough for you to launch that product. So if you don't mind, what type of insurance are you looking at?
I'm specifically targeting the vehicle slash car insurance.
Okay, so
So
vehicle car
I'm
insurance, yeah, that's a good point, Daniel. But see, unfortunately, every car manufacturer or car seller, they offer vehicle insurance. Okay, so nowadays there are insurance companies like uh, there's a company called UI company, which is online company. They do the search and they get you the best quote from all the available insurance, or they can also give their own insurance, which they source from someone else. So that means insurance has become very, very competitive, and online offers have mentioned that. So, for example, if the premium can be as low as $100 or as high as $1,000, that much competition is there. So, if you're offering it to the motor vehicle insurance, you need to find out what are the pain points for the current motor vehicle insurance. First, probably repayment or excess. So when there is an accident and if they want to claim insurance, they say minimum excess you have to pay. So if you say zero excess insurance, you will have a chance of success. But lots of people will love you if they don't want to pay any excess. Or if you say the claims will be settled in 24 hours, yeah, that's again a success point, because most companies take days together to settle the claims. And if you have a network of authorized repairers who are everywhere, anywhere in the country, that will be an advantage. But as a startup product, you might not have that advantage, so you have to tie up with someone else. So it's you are entering into a crowded market. So in a crowded market, you need to find a very small niche or gap which you can tap into.
yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm
Thank you.
not necessarily planning to sell insurance, but I'm
Okay.
trying to help companies and people who buy insurance to reduce their insurance premiums.
Ah,
So
fantastic.
many
So that's good.
people,
That's a very good point, because there are lots of services nowadays which do a compare between different insurance companies, and it's become online also. So in a way, it's you can look at the products in the market and say which one is the best, because as a customer, I don't know which is my best product, which is best suitable to me. So you can do the job for me and say, okay, I've looked at you. You have a car which you drive 10,000 kilometers every year, and you are a very careful, safe, single driver parking in your own home garage. So for you, you are looking at premiums from various. So you can take the risk of saying, I will check and get you the best premiums. So you become a service provider, not a product seller, but a service provider. Okay.
yes,
Thank you,
thank you.
Daniel. So there is a question from Tuet Tran which says, "What are the emerging trends in Australia?" Australia is a smaller country, so the population of Australia is only 25 million. So the risk here is not too many large impact products can be launched over here because the market size is small. The emerging trends now is typically it's in the service sector to a large extent, but biotechnology is quite strong over here, and also the wine industry, which is because that's a strength. Australia produces probably one of the best quality wines. So the wine industry is very strong, and that's an emerging trend. So if you can tap into the wine industry, there is a business over here. And anything to do with the natural resources available over here, like mining or sea or the sea life, ocean life, that's a big market for in Australia. So those are the trends. And unfortunately, being a small country, they will not have large domestic consumption at all, because 25 million is a very small. In fact, some cities in the world is as big as this whole country. So that's the trend. Okay, Tracy said, yep, thank you. Nguyen Tracy said that she's transcribing this call with extension. That's fine. So I think we have run out of time. If there are no other questions, I think we can end the session. Thank you for your time, and thanks for uh, uh, taking your time to listen to my session and also giving me the opportunity. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. And feel free, you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can send me an email through LinkedIn. And if you have any questions or doubts, and we can be in touch. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, so this is the end of the morning sessions, and see you in the afternoon with more tools and techniques to better your ideas. So we will see again at 1 p.m. So see you again later, huh? Bye bye.